Ah, there we go. There we go. Now
Right
let
on.
me make sure the picture comes up. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. Welcome in live. It's your boy aTraes. We are here live with a special episode of whatever the hell we're calling this show these days. I have you guys live. You know how it is. It's struggle streaming all day long over here. I hope that you guys enjoy the picture. We have upgraded the image a little bit. We still got more to upgrade on the way. I just wanted you guys to know that. But I don't want to waste too much of you guys' time because it's Saturday. You could be out, out and about, touching grass, eating ass, all that other stuff. We actually have a special guest in the building. And I see a lot of y'all in the chat already, and it's going to be an interesting conversation. I have McDizzle. Ignore that. We have McDizzle, okay, in the back waiting. We're going to have a spirited conversation, okay? So I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear him in the back, but I'm pretty sure if you can't hear him, you'll let me know. So without further ado, here we go. You should see him on screen right now, but in the Discord in the most ignorant way possible. And it doesn't look good. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second.
Take a few minutes, introduce myself.
We can't see you right now. I don't know if you cut your camera off or what, but we can't see
you
right now. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe
I'm still in Discord.
Oh, there you go. We can see you. We can see you now. Now you guys are seeing them through Discord. I do apologize. This is the best we can do, nigga. I don't know what to tell you. For right now, because
Do they get audio for me though?
Huh? Well, that's what I'm checking right now. Can you guys? Cam Nugget says no audio. Hold up. Strugglecast 101. Hold on, let me see. Can you guys not hear me? What? Hold on. Give me a second. What is happening with the audio, bro?
Oh, they can hear us both.
They can hear us?
That's what someone said. That's word in the street.
So I don't understand. So why are people saying they can't hear us? Okay, Christopher Baker says he can hear both of us. You know what? Salty Surprise, you're banned, okay? For that comment, you're banned. You are definitely banned now. Okay, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have McDizzle here to have a conversation. Wyatt, you can go straight to hell. I saw that comment in the group chat. That is white privilege. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience. Let them know who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, for sure. My name's McDizzle Gaming. I've YouTuber, small though, like 6,500 subscribers. Over the last 6 to 8 months, I've been investigating what I've seen has been a gap in the content space. A lot of folks that don't want to cover things like investigating into Ember by Mr. Grums and some anti-woke content. Not trying to make it ad hominem or anything like that. But, trying to just take it from a different lens, be like, hey, let's investigate this. Why are people saying these type of things in this way? Is it pushing narratives? Is it, has a pendulum swung really far? Asking questions. Not a massive channel. But boy, making people mad.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay. All right. So would it be safe to say you're a backlash to the backlash?
Yeah, I do investigations. I like detail. I started YouTube doing data mining with Rockstar games, like Red Dead Online, a little bit of GTA Online, and digging into a lot of details and shit like that. So I like investigating things. I don't put content out there 4 times a day, those type of things. I don't get that stamina, man. But I take my time to try to do some deep dives, and I really have. So, or at least most people that I've talked to haven't, for example, my stuff on Ember, no one's come back and been like, well, you're full of shit.
Right.
I'm because people would do that if they had that opportunity. But that hasn't really happened. And it's been covered by, larger YouTubers such as Upper Echelon and amongst others and things like that. So I know my shit
Okay.
fairly well. Not perfect,
Okay.
obviously.
Awesome. So before we dive
Yeah.
into the elephant in the room, we want to start this thing
Yeah, for
off with a
sure.
positive note because your name on YouTube is McDizzle Gaming. So
Yeah.
oh, by the way, earlier I slipped up and call. No, I didn't call you. I was typing in the group chat when because I didn't you hadn't responded yet, so I didn't know if you was going to actually show.
Yeah.
And autocorrect changed your name to McDouble, and I got to be honest with you,
Yep.
that shit's gonna
That's
stink.
all good.
That
I
shit's gonna
love
stink.
fucking McDoubles, man. Best burgers.
I fucking hate McDonald's. I,
Really? I
yeah,
love
I
McDoubles,
can't.
man. That's my go-to.
So we're gonna start this thing off on a positive note.
Yeah.
So when it comes to what kind of games are you playing these days, and what are you looking forward to?
For sure. I've been playing Kingdom Come 2. I played Kingdom Come 1 like prior to it coming out. That took like fucking 300 hours. And the second one's just as crazy good. I'm really digging it. It's 2025. I doubt we'll get it, but GTA 6 would be pretty fucking cool if it came out.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
No, not looking forward to GTA 6. Are you a fan of the series or just don't like Rockstar?
I played every single Grand Theft Auto. I think to me, I treat Call of Duty like I treat I treat Grand Theft Auto like I treat Call of Duty. It was a phase, and
That's fair, man.
GTA lost me with GTA Online when they released the heist and the servers didn't work. I was playing it a lot when the servers didn't work. Like I remember one time I was loading in and I was just falling through the sky. And that was during the time where we had a lot of time on our hands. I was young. And so I sat there and let the niggas, thinking it was just a loading screen or I was going to eventually get into the game. I sat there and let that motherfucker fall in the sky for 2 hours. That's how messed up those servers were. And from that point on, I think I turned off Grand Theft Auto. I think the next game I got into was Destiny. And I never got back into Grand Theft Auto again. People begged me to get on it. People have asked me to play with them. People asked me to download it. They tell me, hey, it's free on whatever. I said, I don't care. I'm not playing it. I refuse. And so, yeah, when it comes to GTA 6, I'm not excited. I don't care. I couldn't care less. I hope that everybody gets a good game, though. I hope that it's stable upon release and everybody gets what they love. I know it's not going to flop. I don't care how woke it is or whatever the case may be. It's not going to flop. So anybody looking for it to flop, not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and give the audience what they came for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 minutes to air out your grievances with, you can name specific people if you want to. You can, or the entire space as a whole. I'll give you 5 uninterrupted minutes to kind of air out your grievances about that and why you decided to take on this backlash to the backlash, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. It's so 5 minutes. Now, this was a social experiment for what everyone's kind of come for. There's legal and ethical and moral pitfalls with that. My priority is fully respecting privacy laws and ensuring no misuse of personal information, just like Smash asked to. Why I am addressing this is I find it's a gap in the content that other people are noticing that, hey, people should be kind of covering some of these questionable things that are coming out. Now, I did not wake up and choose violence by any means. That's not necessarily how it works. I got tipped off that one of Smash's BioWare leakers were fake. This person was using a name and a role for someone that may have worked at BioWare and a bunch of other nebulous information. And in fact, that person just kind of left it. And you might say, well, that came true or whatever. I can't tell you. I DM'd with Smash, provided him this information as a show of goodwill. And he confirmed with me that, hey, that was a fake leaker. Although he may have other BioWare insiders and such, I'm not going to deny that. But in that case, someone was fucking with him, and I did give him that information to help him move forward. My intentions were very well documented from the start, and I've been doing these investigations for a while, so it's not like a wake up and gotcha. A lot of people are using the word gotcha. They're the only ones saying that. I investigate pieces other people are often really scared to, and for some reason, my small-ass channel has some sort of impact and makes people real mad, whether it be SmashJT or Grums or others. My intentions were a skill check in the media in 2025. Smash is a journalist, no matter how he self-identifies. He has a website and a news section. He monetizes that news as early access. That's all good. Make your money. Nothing wrong with that. But let's just have a conversation and call it what it is, right? And that should be okay, in my opinion. Now, overall, do I have regrets? Absolutely. I feel real bad for anyone's name or anyone's privacy that may have been violated during this activity, or any part that I played in that. One note I will make is I have not shared any public information of any employees with a mass audience. And I know I did watch a video of you kind of reacting to it. And I heard some of the your concerns, and I don't want to dismiss those by any means. That said, both Smash and I have received cease and desist and actioned on it accordingly. Again, I feel bad for anyone that has been impacted in this that shouldn't have been impacted in this in any way. So I have no litigation or anything like that I can speak of that's happening. I've adhered to my cease and desist, which I've documented, which is like, don't do that. Don't impersonate an employee for any sort of intent, whether on intentional impacts or not. So it's an interesting activity. It's got a lot of people talking. There's many arguments that the conversation around this is for the greater good. And again, this BioWare leaker said Smash will run with anything, with just a name and a role and nebulous information. It's important to remember that, you got people that thinking they're going to save civilization. How many other people are doing this? At least one that, didn't own up to it or anything like that. And, I put a stop to that. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it so far. The reason I did it wasn't like a fuck you Smash. I have nothing against it personally. If you watch, I don't have a lot of videos. I took a video down that I likely didn't even need to, but I do want to make some edits to it. Just because the way I feel, I don't want anyone impacted by anything. And I'm respecting people's privacy. I'm not one to kind of usually push the limits on shit too much, or at least I don't have a history of that, to say the I do investigations. I wouldn't call myself a journalist, but I would call myself an investigator. And the question that it raises is that do people just run with something if it sounds like it works or if it sounds like it fits? And if this happened to Kotaku, let's say this happened to Alyssa Mercante, everyone would be laughing their ass off at it for weeks. There'd be like 65 fucking videos. There'd be some wild shit out there. And people would be laughing their ass off at it. That said,
you're preaching to the choir. I mean, I'm surprised she's suing SmashJT and not me. I mean, I've been on that girl's neck from day one, and I'll say this again and again, as I've said time to time. I have no personal vendetta with her, and things could have been hashed out. But see, the problem is she blocked me before I even knew who the hell she was. And see, I have a problem with that because you was never even open to a conversation, and it seems to me she refuses to address anybody of color on this end. But we're not gonna get into Alyssa Mercante. That's a whole different conversation. So so it's good to hear that you are at least regretful of that. Now, when it comes, I'm not here to run defense for SmashJT. He's a grown man.
No, I get you.
Yeah, he's a grown man. He can defend himself, and I'm sure that he has. I'm more concerned about the overall implications on the space and in gaming in general.
Sure.
So SmashJT, by the definition of it, would probably be considered a journalist. I have an issue with this though, because the quote unquote actual journalist will tell you that SmashJT is not a journalist. So if we're going to say that he's not a journalist, and I'm not agreeing with this, I'm just presenting a question. If we're going to say the actual journalists are saying that he's not a journalist, then how can you hold him to the same journalistic integrity, or journalistic standards that you're held to? For example, if you are Alyssa Mercante writing an article, you know that you have connections in the industry that a SmashJT don't have. So if somebody DMs SmashJT and says, I'm so and so, I work at such and such, I provide this information, it is up to SmashJT to decide whether or not he wants to provide that information. In this particular situation, he may have jumped the gun and thought that the puzzles lined up where they may have not lined up, and then released information that was obviously incorrect. To me, while this is extremely unfortunate, as a YouTuber, not a journalist, I don't see how he could have done anything better. Now, you could say one
Sure.
argument that I've heard is that he could have cross-referenced with other insiders that he's had and determine whether or not it's true, and then you can take those and say, okay, decide whether or not you want to run with this. However, he said himself that he doesn't have any connections at, I think did he say, was it Ubisoft we were talking about or BioWare? It was Ubisoft, wasn't it? It was Ubisoft, because we were talking about, because it was about the release date being pushed back. And so I know he said he had leakers at BioWare, but not necessarily Ubisoft. I could be wrong on that. Somebody in the chat let me know. And so if he has one source, and he puts the disclaimer is that he always, at least what I see, he always put the disclaimer, take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So just to bring it back to that question, if he, and I would say fair, you said you actually consider him to be a journalist. So maybe you don't really have to answer this question, but I always think if the actual journalist, the Jeff Grubbs, the former journalist Alyssa Mercante, if they're going to say he's not a journalist, he's just a YouTuber, a commentator, then how can we hold him to the same journalistic standard?
Now, that's a good question. And if you separate, the content creation bit from the journalism piece, he has a whole website that's dedicated to gaming news or whatever such. So that's more the journalistic piece that I see from Smash. Having a gaming news website, call it a Tumblr, call it whatever you want, but I think by most definitions, that would meet a threshold for someone to consider someone a journalist.
I don't disagree at all.
I get that. And he has a different political viewpoint than probably a great deal of journalism. I think the majority of journalism is very far to the left. I don't think anyone would disagree to that. And, I can't speak to Smash's own political ideologies, but I think he's probably perceived at very least of being, a little further to the right. And that's all right as well. So you asked the question about what else he could have done. And I heard you mention kind of like cross-reference. I don't even think that's way too much. This is a really low threshold, a name and a role. A pay stub, something that, of course, someone else could fake it. But that's the level of threshold I would use. I've talked to numerous insiders for a couple different studios, and I have gotten that type of proof before I've kind of been like, okay, we're cool to go. Because not doing that sets up a situation where anyone could say anything, and if they don't own up to it or say anything about it, it just falls apart. So, and that's one reason that, wanted to bring visibility about that.
So, I think that's true to a certain degree. Now, I could be hilariously wrong on this, but the way I always looked at it is that, because there was once a time that I didn't know SmashJT, I didn't know who he was, and so, of course, we all asked the question when we watch his videos, why should we listen to this guy, right? Why should we watch his videos? Why should we listen to his reporting? For me, not knowing him and watching the industry pretty much burn itself down, trying to burn him down, is that if the things that this guy was reporting were so hilariously wrong, then I would think that people in the industry would report that. Now, I'll give you a prime example like Khalif Adams. How long ago was that, Kata? Weeks ago, Khalif Adams came on and spoke with Kata. And he came from a disposition that was very, I'm in the industry, you're not, I know more than you, shut up. He didn't actually say that. I want to make that very clear. He didn't actually say that. But he was very snobby, very arrogant about it. I just know more than you. And when it comes to these things that Grums is reporting, when it comes to, even Grums is getting his reckoning online right now. Like we just talked about Grums, I want to say yesterday, with the whole Witcher 4 thing, when they were trying to say that she looked like a man, and then they celebrated an improvement on the model, and it's the same goddamn model. So that's why I'm always like, if you're reporting something that's wrong, it will be corrected. you will be corrected one way or another. Either a developer is going to come out and say something directly, or what they like to do is talk through the media. But you got to bring the truth. So, for example, we talked weeks ago about him reporting that BioWare news. Now, everybody came out and said, oh, that's false. BioWare Edmonton is not closing. Whatever, whatever. Then, hilariously, a couple of weeks later, they are dissolving. No, that's not the word they use. They are restructuring. All of a sudden, everybody at the studio is moving here and here and there. And it's like a skeleton crew remaining. Okay, so you didn't close the studio, but you basically closed the. It's almost like they're doing their best to try to avoid giving any credibility to somebody like SmashJT. So coming back to what I was saying in the beginning, if he was such a unreliable source, why hasn't more of the things that he's reported on just been debunked?
Sure. And again, the objective wasn't just to say SmashJT is an unreliable source. Myself, I can only speak from my own perspective and, what I've done. And I've done, a number of investigations, one on Concord. To give you an example, after Smash put out a video and someone called like Prof Brown or something like that, so a couple things kind of were like, huh? I'm like, I was listening to the story of being like, okay, it sounds kind of weird, but whatever, not really, my concern. The only thing that kind of struck me as odd is like mentioning this person's impact to the actual game. They weren't a director. They were probably like a manager type role. But a dude, or I won't say a dude, someone from Firewalk reached out to me and was like, yeah, that's kind of, not substantive of what happened. Substantive, I don't know if that's the fucking word, but it's not, it sounds very odd. This hasn't been my experience. And even my video about it, I'm not saying Smash is full of shit. I'm saying, hey, you know what? This is reported. This might have been someone's perspective, but I'm talking to numerous people, and I did my background checking. This is what I've come to, and this is just my perspective on it. So I've had concerns with some of Smash's reporting. That's not to dismiss, stuff that he's probably getting right. I'm sure he has insiders. I'm not saying Smash doesn't. I have people I talk to. I'm sure he does as well. Absolutely. And I know he took it pretty personally, and I get it. I mean, who wouldn't? And after it, I tried to approach again with goodwill. I did in providing him information I didn't need to provide him around the BioWare stuff. And I thought that was, I wasn't saying we were buddies or anything like that, but a reasonable, like, here you go. He sent me a cheers back. Confirmed that, hey, it was the case. This BioWare guy that reached out to me was for real. That, he was, a fake leaker. Although, again, I'll acknowledge that he probably had other ones. And so, but the last few days being like, I got to cease and desist. Go after McDizzle. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, I got one too, man. I'm ceasing. I'm desisting.
Okay. And yeah, we don't want to talk about anything that'll get you legally in trouble, but
Totally.
There's more elephants in the room. Okay, so earlier you were hung up on the fact that SmashJT released that information about that employee.
Not necessarily hung up on them releasing the information on the employee, but around. I'm sorry, man. I might be misunderstanding. I apologize for that.
Mm-hmm. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Can you just clarify?
Well, no, I mean,
like the employee,
and maybe I misunderstood because earlier you mentioned multiple times that you weren't the one that actually released the information for that employee, the name and information of that employee to a big audience. It seems like, not that you took that personally, but you obviously took that as something highly egregious, right?
Yeah.
So here's my thing about that.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the part of the journalism that we don't get, that we don't understand, we don't have privy.
Sure.
I assume if I'm a journalist, right, and I get information from someone, and it turns out to be a fake person, and everybody's calling into question my credibility. Well, now my name is on the line, right? And so, and I actually said this when it broke, because we was live on New Black Street when you were tweeting everything, and I said, SmashJT needs to be transparent about what he got that led to it, because your audience needs to know: are you really credible? What happened here? And it's the same transparency that we want to hold the industry. Now we'll never get that from them, but SmashJT is a content creator, and part of the reason why people follow him is because of his perceived authenticity. And I said it. You need to let everyone know why it is that you decided to run with this story, despite the fact that it ended up being fake. And not even 10 minutes later, he dropped the video. Pretty much, I think it was the I Got video where he presented why he ran with it and what he saw. Is that, I mean, sure that unfortunately that person got caught up in it, but do you perceive that as being morally wrong?
It can have legal and ethical consequences if the person receives unwanted attention, and not from me necessarily because I didn't share that information. Although he might not have intent of anything bad. If things draw unwanted attention to anyone, that can cause some liability. And I know I was watching a clip from you saying like he had to show it and such. No, he didn't. He could have spoken to it. And I thought about this, if someone runs into the situation again, what they should do is, do the video just like he did, but just block out their information. And, that doesn't really prove too much, and you're not putting yourself at any sort of risk of getting some sort of cease and desist or anything like that. I guess that's how you would mitigate that. I get where he has to defend himself. I think you can still do that.
Well, respectfully,
I think someone can still do that with it. Yeah.
Yeah, respectfully, I'm not a legal expert, so I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, if we got any lawyers in the chat, let me know. But I truly do not believe that in this particular situation, SmashJT broke any laws. In my personal opinion, I don't know. Maybe somebody later on down the line will clip this. I don't believe. I think it was in his best interest to adhere to the cease and desist because one, he already has a lawsuit going on, and two, this person didn't deserve the unwanted attention that they were about to get or that they already got. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe people at the job come like, hey, did you know such and such, just leaked your information online? Do you know such and such just use your information to trick such and such, which we're going to get into in a minute. Me personally, I just don't think he did anything illegally. And if he did, then that's a conversation to be had. I'm more than willing to listen to that because I am not the expert there. But I just don't feel he did anything illegal.
No, that's fine. I'm not going to speak. Smash can speak for himself. Other people that are looking into it can speak to it. But laws are complicated, and legalities are complicated. So again, people have done research and have come to different conclusions. So yeah, no, and I get from a feeling standpoint, like in the context of like, I can acknowledge why someone would do that in their defense.
Right.
I get that. But it also comes with those risks. And I guess, if you get just hypothetically, if you get a cease and desist letter, there's usually a reason for it to cease and desist, whatever they're asking for, or the action to.
Well, I want to say, I don't believe that was SmashJT's first cease and desist letter. No.
That's fair.
It was his that I know about. Someone else got a cease and desist letter. It was Valiant. It was Valiant Renegade who got a cease and desist letter from Black Girl Gamers, and we said during that time that this is some bullshit, and they kept doing what they were doing, and we heard nothing from Black Girl Gamers. And so I get what you're saying. Like usually when they send a cease and desist, it's for a reason. I think more often than not, it's a scare tactic. Now in your situation, and again, I want to make this abundantly clear. I am not a legal expert, so I don't know. In your situation, which we've been waiting to get to, chat been on my ass about asking. In your situation, you impersonated an actual employee of a multi-million-dollar, well, if they are still a multi-million-dollar company, which, by the way, Ubisoft didn't do anything wrong, guys. They defended their employee, which is perfectly fine. But you impersonated an actual person, and I'm going to assume that person's information was public, right?
I'm going to say that
if it'll get you in trouble, you don't have to answer it.
I'm gonna say the threshold for this was a name and a role that would be public information.
Okay.
That was the threshold that the original leaker that
Mhm.
was doing this nonsense
So I have to ask this
mentioned.
question
Of
because
course.
I know you said you're an investigator, but
Yep.
I've also seen your tweets, and I've seen your tweets for quite some
Yep.
time since the beginning of Gamergate. It seems like you
Sure.
have a personal vendetta against people in this space, and it's in my mind like, what would make a person so upset that they would go and
Yeah.
impersonate someone to, I guess, expose somebody like SmashJT?
No, that's a reasonable question. Listen, man, me personally, I don't paint people with a broad brush. Um, politics are complicated. People change throughout their lives. Their views on things change. I have people that I'm cool with in the anti-woke space. It's more about, what someone's saying versus who someone is. So I'm not targeting, people for, the hell of it by any means, nor am I really targeting anyone. Again, I'm just a small, I don't have a whole lot of influence. I shouldn't. I mean, it's a small channel. I'm investigating and giving my perspective on it, and mainly because I find it really interesting. I do. I put content that I find interesting, whether or not other people find it interesting, whatever, out in that space. And other people have acknowledged that there's not a lot of people covering it and covering, at least the perspective of, in 2025, legacy media is going away. Let's take a look at this new media. Let's critique them. Let's, give another perspective. Because I do see things, and, Smash and other people, let's say within the Gamergate space, some of them have done a good job in identifying things that are hurting gaming. I can acknowledge that. I'm not a fucking idiot. I think that's okay to actually acknowledge and say.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, man, I lost my train of thought. I was just kind of rambling on there.
Well,
I got you. I'm back to it, man. Sorry.
it's fine. It's just that because I try to wrap my mind around like the whole situation. Like I get it.
Yeah.
If you don't like SmashJT, you want to be able to disprove him. But I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. I'm all about showing the work. And to me, what you did seemed like a shortcut to me. That's my issue with it. And I've said some pretty spicy things. I want to let the chat understand for those who may be new watching, I don't know. But the fact that he's willing to sit here and have a conversation and address certain things, I give him the basic level of respect. I know I've said some things in the past that, about McDizzle that would be, considered spicy and might lead to fighting words, which is fine. I don't apologize for saying those things, but now that he's here, he does deserve respect for coming into the Lion's Den. But I feel like what you did was a shortcut. In my opinion, and what I say to people on that side of the spectrum, including Khalif Adams, including Alyssa Mercante, whoever's on that side, show your work. If SmashJT is so wrong, then prove it. Now, when you talk about somebody like Grums, I got to be honest with you. I like Grums reporting on the news. Sometimes Grums, I'd be like, come on, Grums, you're killing me. Like, again, I'll bring up the Witcher situation yesterday, celebrating the fact that the Siri, look, they improved the model when they didn't. It was the same Siri. It just made me, it was embarrassing in my personal opinion. But you have to show your work. And that's what I feel like on that side of the spectrum. And I don't even know if you're over there. I just seen your tweets, and I've seen you pop off for quite some time. You have to be able to show your work and show why these people are wrong. Because when we talk about anti-woke, people think that we want to put our narrative in it. I don't want any narrative in it. Like,
sure.
If you want to make a gay game, make that gay game. You know what I'm saying? Don't come over here and take the IP. Well, anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But why is it that side of the spectrum doesn't seem to have people who can show their work and prove why we are wrong?
Absolutely. And I can't, speak for we, right? Like, I've watched a couple of your videos, man. I've seen nothing that I've been like, this guy's fucking wrong. Like, maybe if I watch a whole bunch and be like, this thing came from here and I thought that was bullshit. But I don't know, man. But, specifically in this example, with Smash, I have done the work. I have videos on a couple concerns. I had one called How Blind Loyalty Hurts Gaming. And, Smash saying he didn't know who I was, being like McDizzle, whatever his name is in his videos, but he knew who I was. He was talking about me 6 months ago. Someone asked him about Ember, and, he dismissed my reporting on it. So that put a bad taste in my mouth. It's not like I woke up and been like, fuck you, man.
Okay.
There's some history here. So, very dismissive. And that's fine. I did an evaluation on that as being like how blind loyalty hurts gaming. They'll talk about...
Not to interrupt you, but I'm sure Smash can relate to that because part of his rise to fame is that he had the same kind of interaction with Review Tech USA, where Review Tech USA kind of dismissed him as being I guess a bottom-feeding YouTuber. And now I would say SmashJT is hotter than Review Tech USA right now.
Yeah, probably.
So, I mean, I'm sure he can relate to that. But you have definitely been one of the more, and listen, more power to you. Do what you do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you believe in, fight for that. And I believe that's what makes a man is fighting for what he believes in.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have a problem with you. There's been plenty of times I've seen like wild tweets you made, and I'm like, some of them I responded to, others I didn't. But yeah, you've been pretty antagonistic towards this side, which is perfectly okay. And so now that you say that, I know where, I don't want to say animosity, but you definitely had a bone to pick with SmashJT in particular.
My concerns with his approach, that was a big part of it. And man, I'm a pretty, it's tough to tell because all these motherfuckers hate me, but in the chat, but I'm a nice dude. Like, at the end of the day, you remove that from me, you remove Twitter, I'm a nice guy that gets along with most people generally. That's been my experience anyway. Like, through fucking life, you know what I mean?
This is why I prefer conversations because, and I'll even admit to this, and Paris said it last week on, because we had Paris Lilly on New Black Street. He said it. He said he's seen my tweets. They're particularly spicy. I think there's a degree of sensationalism on Twitter.
Massive.
You are definitely a lot more sane on camera than you are on Twitter, and the same is when I'm trying to entertain my audience, I'm definitely insane in my videos. But if I'm having a back and forth with somebody, like Paris, he and I disagree. As a matter of fact, the first time when he talked to Kata, they didn't even want to talk to me because they thought I was too toxic. And I was like, okay, I mean, I made my bed, I'll lay in it. You know what I'm saying? But now that we've talked, I'm pretty confident in saying that Paris walked away from that situation saying, that nigga's still toxic, but not as toxic as I thought. So this is why I love these kind of conversations. That doesn't necessarily mean that Smash is going to walk away and think that you're a cool dude or whatever the case may be.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be fuck that guy, whether or not this conversation ends poorly or bad. I don't know if there was anything from the chat that wanted to hear anything in particular, had any questions. There's no super chats asking anything or anything like that. So, I mean, a lot of people wanted to address you impersonating someone. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that was fucking insane. I still think it's insane. Because as I've told people since I've come on the internet, there's certain lines we don't cross. Now, I've never particularly stated, I've never particularly got on the video and said, yeah, you don't impersonate anybody. But that's one thing that I feel like there should be consequences for, because you wouldn't want nobody to impersonate you in a situation you have nothing to do with. I'm pretty sure that Ubisoft would have loved to be able to slander SmashJT's name. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I can't speak to that.
Well, I mean, they have reason to hate SmashJT just as much as any of his opposition does. But impersonating someone, I do want you to understand that I think that's crazy. And I do want to give you the opportunity to, like, when you look back on that situation, I know you said you have regrets, but like, at what point did you ultimately say to yourself, maybe this wasn't the best idea? Or if you ever said that at all?
Anytime there is, you see private information leaked out, That's a point where my heart would sink and be like, holy fuck. You know, definitely regrets from that perspective. That's the moment where I'd be like, oh no. So you know, I don't. Yeah, that's, I guess, to speak to that, that would be it. If I could do it again, would I do it again like that? No. But you know, we do things differently. That said, if I look at the outcomes and the conversation around it, I feel these type of activities that don't risk any sort of, you know, legal risks, you know, go from like cease and desist or anything like that. Things that don't have that risk are important to do. I still don't think, you know, Smash saying, "Oh, I would have done everything the same," is appropriate. Like, because I did hear, I think in one of your previous videos, or just like it was a live stream, the end of it, being like, you mentioned like if I remember correctly, that, you know, he couldn't have done anything different. What I was looking for, and I had in my initial tweet about, is like, you know, ask a question like a pay stub or something that's what, you know, is a common thing to verify, because anyone could say anything about anyone and just not own up to it, and it would become news, and that's fucking fascinating. Because I know what's happened, at least, you know, once with the BioWare leaker, that he confirmed was, yeah, okay, thanks for the name, this is the case. So yeah,
I agree with that, but I also think that quote unquote actual journalists participate in some of the same behavior. The prime example of that was the Black Myth Wukong situation last year. Yeah. I agree that there needs to be some level of accountability. I do agree that if you report on something, let's say I reported on something back in August of 2024, a leak I supposedly had, and it came out that that was not true, and I should absolutely go back and say, hey, I reported on this months ago, turned out not to be true, whatever. I see your beef with, well, that's just, now it's just a fart in the wind. Like, nobody's talking about the fact that so and so got that wrong. But is it because now this is we gotten back to who's a journalist and what's not a journalist, right?
Yeah, I get you, and you know, there's so much content that are holding those people accountable, and they're doing a good job at it. Like, I won't say people like Smash isn't doing a good job at it. You know, his channel's growing. He's kicking ass. Good for him. My thoughts too is, I've heard him mention like trying to ruin my career. Like, I'm realistic, man. There's nothing I can do that is going to ruin or impact Smash's career negatively. It might hurt his pride. But I mean, directly the night after, he was bragging about how he had the biggest amount of donations. You know, he's got a lot of sympathy from his community, and that's all right, man. There's different perspectives on this, and I get it. It's garnered a whole lot of conversation, and I think it is important conversation to have, because media is changing. Again, legacy media is fucked. They're gone. Like, they might as well be done. They're getting laughed out the door. It is being replaced with people like Smash, like myself. And you know, I'm not I don't have a news website. That's why I wouldn't, you know, call myself a journalist. I do YouTube videos, I tweet. I don't think I've written an article on anything. That's kind of the delineation I see why I would consider Smash more in that journalistic space than someone like Endymion, who, you know, I had a video about this. I have it down as, you know, my interpretation of, like, I want to change a couple things in it, because I wasn't asked specifically to take it down. Just that I felt kind of right about being like, okay, let's think about our approach here. I interpreted it as, like, you know, cease and desist around, like, removing kind of the content around that. So I want to make some edits to make that video right before I put it up. No one's asked me to take anything down, though. One tweet, and then I took a video down because I want to, you know, make it a little smoother. So yeah, it's an interesting topic. I never want to go through it again. I mean, my personal name got thrown out there, and that's all good. It's not like, you know, I should have had it locked down better, but I would expect that Smash knows after kind of a year with his growing audience, if he gets mad and throws someone's name out there, what his audience is going to do. And, you know, I've gotten, like, you know, a lot of hate and whatever. That shit doesn't bother me. You know, you turn off the computer, you go outside, do some shit, you know what I mean? doesn't that can roll off my back pretty easy. But and you know, even after that, and I will say this is my personal perspective. Smash has the right to be, you know, upset, fuck this guy, whatever. But February 20th, I reached out to him with that, you know, what I consider goodwill, at least my perspective, to give him information to kind of try to put it behind us. And then the last couple of days, the videos about the cease and desist, I didn't have plans to make content on it. I didn't want to really profit off the situation. My videos don't pop off. I'm, you know, $7, $8. Like, I'm not trying to get, you know, super profit or really any profit off it. That's not the case. I find it interesting and fascinating. But yeah, I'm just kind of rambling, man. Just kind of rambling.
Okay, all right.
He's not responsible for the audience. Oh, can I address a question there? I agree. He's not responsible for the audience. I'm not a lawyer though, so it's, you know, if someone gets unwanted attention from information being shared about them in a hypothetical situation, I'm not a lawyer. I can't speak to that. I mean, you can say that he shouldn't be, right?
What I can say for sure about that is that while the courts may not consider that a serious matter, the platforms themselves, the YouTubes, the Twitches, so I mean, you know, that, and that's for all creators. I'm not saying that to scold Smash or anything like that. I haven't necessarily seen him send his audience to go troll anybody, but I did see Endymion get banned from Twitch for like what?
Oh shit.
Multiple, what, it was like 2 years for sending his audience to go troll Pokemon. So I mean, there's that. I think I've asked everything that I wanted to ask. You know, it was, before I let you go, I'm gonna put your link into the chat for anybody that wants to go subscribe. Is there anything left that you wanted to ask me, or, you know, just kind of get the last things off your chest before you go?
No, I appreciate you taking the time to chat. You know, people are a lot more sensible when they have a chat. I gave Smash that opportunity, you know, numerous times. I get that he's pissed off, doesn't want to. Would have been a lot easier if he would. And you know, I've seen some comments. Just, I haven't been watching the chat like crazy, but look, man, think what you want about me. I'm a pretty normal guy. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I've owned up to the people that I need to own up to, in my opinion. I'd love to have a nuanced conversation with Smash, and I will add this: I watched Smash's I got video, and I'll tell you a moment I felt bad for Smash. I felt bad for Smash when he's like, they want to make me feel stupid, like I'm useless, like I'm an idiot. I'm like, dude, don't be so hard on yourself, man. That's not my intent at all. And I hope he doesn't feel like that. I'm a fucking human, man. I'm a pretty normal fucking dude that, you know, got a little close to the sun. Got a little close to the sun doing some investigation. So it is what it is. I appreciate the, you know, people hearing me out. Some of them already had their opinion formed. Some of them coming for, you know, information that they might be disappointed about. Let's see. Well, I'm looking at your super chats that are kind of addressed to me. If you, McDizzle, if you had an elevator pitch for the type of content you're trying to make the best version, how would you describe it? Investigating the new media. And that includes, you know, from crowdfunding blunders, to say the least, to the information that they're putting out. And again, it's just my perspective. It's just like, that's all I can give. I don't have a huge platform. I find it interesting, and I'm doing what the best I can with the skills I have. Just like Smash is doing the best he can with the skills he have, and he's doing great for it. I can't plow out, like, you know, 37 videos, 18 lives. Like, I can't do that shit, and that's all right. And again, I wish the best to him. Him losing subscribers doesn't give me subscribers. It's not that type of game. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm trying to do to him. So I feel bad that he took it so personally. It could have been Endymion, if Endymion had a website that did kind of journalism, because I was doing a similar investigation. I had videos on Twitter talking about some of his KCD2 bullshit. That was complete bullshit, like around Daniel Vavra, some GTA stuff. It's not just Smash. Like, I have videos on Andy Pants Gaming, like people that I think are legitimate. You and all
the rest of us.
Exactly.
Well, Well,
But again, I appreciate you hearing me out, man.
yeah, I
He
mean,
didn't lose subs. I don't think he did. I mean, he's still doing great. This hasn't impacted him in a
well,
negative way. I don't think.
Smash understands that he's accountable to his audience, and we all should be.
Exactly.
The downfall of a content creator will be always be the day where they believe that they're bigger than their audience, and that's why I always tell people to become supporters and not fans, because we make mistakes, and there will be times where you're gonna reconsider whether or not you even want to follow our content. So, but yeah, though. So I'm gonna go ahead and conclude it there. I'm gonna let you up out of here. People are telling me they got to get to this elimination chamber match for WWE. So
Yeah, I'm going to watch that too, man.
I haven't been into WWE in years, so I'm
No, I
gonna let
love
you up out
wrestling.
of here. I appreciate you for stopping by. I'm gonna hang around for just a couple more minutes while I talk to the audience. And but yeah, though. So I appreciate you for coming through, and yeah, you be
Thanks,
safe
man.
out there in these YouTube streets.
You too, man. Appreciate it. Bye bye.
All right, cool. All right, chat. All right. So we're back. The grift is back. That was you know, as productive as it could be. I got to get to y'all super chats. I have got to get to y'all super chats because y'all in here going off. Y'all in here popping off. And I kind of wanted, as much as I wanted to kind of like interrupt and get to super chats, I kind of wanted to also just let you know that go on. So damn, there was some earlier super chats that I wanted to get to. I know Cryptic Beats was saying, for fuck's sakes, Atreus, we got, damn it. We got Cayman Spidey says, so what did I miss? Did you guys make out yet? LOL, just kidding. In all seriousness, I would say, while I don't agree with what you did, McDizzle, at all, but I appreciate you conversing with the Atreus. At least, thank you. I appreciate that. As you guys can see, unfortunately, you cannot see yourself today. I didn't want I did not want that clip popping off during the interview, so I took that out. I apologize. I hate this ugly ass wireless keyboard and this ugly ass mouse. Shit is disgusting. Okay. We got Christopher Baker, $20 super chat. He says, always interesting hearing different perspectives, even if you don't all the way agree. Would like opposing side interviews more often. Hey, listen, I would love to do it as well. But with the new studio, all things are possible. I gotta finish it, by the way. I gotta finish it. And also, I don't like this empty space right here. I need another plate. Y'all see Master Chief? That shit is beautiful, ain't it? Anyway, let's keep going. Shout out to Sold Me Out, who became a member and then bought 5 memberships for everybody in the chat. So shout out to all of those who just became a single mom. Unfortunately, single mom did not play during the stream because we were doing the interview. Bird Talk with a $5 super chat. He says, McDizzle, if you have, oh yeah, we already read that one. He read that one himself. I kind of want to let him, kind of address those if he wanted to. Trelly C with the $10 super chat. He says, McDizzle used legitimate credentials in order to prove journalism dishonesty. That would trick most people. He would have had a better point if he achieved the same results using fake credentials. That is a solid point. And that's why I asked him, and I should have asked it that way, but I asked him, like, well, what would you have done? I couldn't really push back on the pay stub argument because I don't know how that works. I would be very apprehensive about sending somebody my pay stub, but maybe actual journalists do that. So we'll go. Epic Toe with $2 super chat. He says, I like McDizzle's goals, just more identity theft. Just no more identity theft. Yeah, I agree with that. SGT Schultz says, $2 super chat. He says, if asked for a pay stub, what would you have done? That's what I'm wondering. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a strange one. Brutal Monkey says, that was good work. Thank you, buddy. Okay, and that concludes the super chats. Camera is a bit wide. Yeah, I got some more lenses on the way. So I got 2 more lenses on the way. This is the new Black Magic camera that y'all seen me pull up on New Black Street yesterday. And then I'm gonna get another angle with my Canon R8. I can't wait. I got one coming in tomorrow. And then the other one I think is coming in on Wednesday. So yeah, so that was fun. I was hoping to get not the entire Discord on screen. I was hoping just to get his cam. I didn't have enough time, guys. I did a photo shoot today So I kind of got here late, and that was that. So if we got all your questions out of the way, yeah, Pelzor, you see the, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, ain't it? Look at that cover. Ooh, that thing is beautiful. I love that right there. I did have Shockwave sitting up here too, but Shockwave takes up a lot of space. He takes up a lot of space. I may put him back up here in this spot, but we're gonna see what we're gonna do with this right here. Like, this is bothering me. I want some more lights back here to kind of like, light it up a little bit. Also, I kind of want to get the cameras to give me a little depth of field. I don't know if I'm gonna have to move myself up closer. I don't know if I'm too close to the wall to get more depth of field. But yeah, though. So my overall opinion of McDizzle from that conversation. Now y'all know why I always advocate for talking directly to people and not on Twitter or like going at each other with videos. This is why I forgot. There was another guy that made a video on me a couple weeks back that was supposed to come on the show, and he didn't come on the show. I said my piece about him, and he made a response video. I didn't even watch it because he agreed to come on the show. He didn't come on the show, and I don't know. You say you take that for what you will. Person says, aTraes, when we get in the comic book reading stream, I'm glad you asked about that because that is coming up this following week. Okay, that is coming up this following week. There is plenty of space right where your face is, fool. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Too much light shining off of the ISOM cover. I agree. How does that look? You like that better? It's too dark right there. How about that? You like that better? Cameron says I can't seem to join the Discord link. Here, I got you. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys while you're here. Yeah, we might start doing some more interviews, you know what I'm saying? There's the Discord link for those of you who are not in the Discord. I told y'all we was upgrading, man. No more webcam. We got the studio camera. I got another camera I'm going to set up. I got an extra seat for guests when they come in person. And then I'm going to get the windows fixed so when we get more people to come on cam, we can do that. But yeah, though, welcome to the Grifties. I've decided on that name. The show is going to be called the Grifties. No more Ninja Cast. It's now going to be called the Grifties. So in the chat, y'all let me know who y'all would like to, some ideas on who y'all would like me to interview next. I feel like a lot of y'all enjoyed that. And it was fun to do, kind of like ask them the questions. Let's see. Who else? Comic book stream. Yeah, it's going to be a comic book stream. Trelly C says, live video format or in-person convos require you to think on your feet. You can't hide back takes like you can online. That is an absolute fact. Nathan Moon, as Paris Lily said last week, Alyssa Mercante is not coming on. He said it, and he's friends with Alyssa Mercante. So, yeah. Epic Toe says Fratanga. Okay. I'll hit him up, see what he says. Interview Booty Adams. I'll hit up Khalif Adams and see if he want to do it. I'm not interviewing Review Tech USA without his shirt on. I'm not doing that. I don't want nothing to do with Hassan. I'll interview.
You can interview me, man.
Who the fuck? Who the fuck is that?
You can interview me if you want, man.
Oh, this nigga. Hey, man, you better announce yourself when you come in. This nigga came in. This nigga came in.
I'm gonna jump in here real quick. I see him in your stream. Let me jump in.
Man, yo, that's Kata back there. Man, I need to put a fucking lock on the damn, because imagine a rando coming here for real. and just start talking mad shit. Like come in here and say some
Yeah,
like
just getting your, oh, you motherfucker. And you start going in.
yeah, like
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, somebody said the auntie hunter is here. Okay.
Nah, I just came to say what's up. Good job on the stream. You were a lot more gentle than I would have been, to be honest.
I was a lot more
But
professional. That's what that
you
was.
know,
Yeah. I already know, which is surprisingly, they thought I was more toxic than you. That's what blew my mind. But yeah, though, I mean,
yeah.
like I already know if it was you or Hypnotic, yeah, I was gonna dig into his cheeks, Paul.
That's just how I do. Whoa. All right, I'm in the middle of a monster hunt right now. I'm gonna jump out.
Hey, I'm about to jump on that shit my damn self. Wait, don't we got to stream tonight? Fuck, we gotta do Saturday night
You got to
hypnosis
stream
tonight.
tonight. I'm finna go out to eat.
Oh, you're not gonna be on Saturday night? You gonna miss the second episode in a row?
Unless if I get back and there's room, I jump in. But there ain't no room. I ain't gonna be
Yo,
on.
nigga, I'm reporting you to HR.
All right, let me get the fuck out of here.
All right, man, be easy.
All right.
All right, chat. So I know a lot of y'all got to get ready for the elimination chamber. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Yeah, we're gonna work on trying to interview some other people, preferably some opposing opinions. Can't make no promises because niggas don't like to be confronted like that. So we got SNH in what an hour and a half? Yeah, we got SNH in an hour and a half. So I'll see y'all there. In the meantime, as I always say, may the grift be with you. I'll talk to y'all later. Fuck. Where's my damn? How do I stop the stream? God damn it.